Sounds like I'm one of the guys.
Gotta make it happen, Captain. Am I right?
That's right.
Hi, I'm Travis Swartz. I'm here today at Mountain Home Air Force Base talking about a very important subject, General Spill Prevention Control and Countermeasures, or you can call it SPCC. I'm here today with Danny. Danny and me are going to be talking about, Danny, how are you?
Doing good, are you?
I'm doing very well. We're going to be talking about procedures that need to be followed, mandatory, no excuses, correct?
Yes.
All right. Tell me, what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to talk about our responsibilities in the event of a spill here at Mountain Home Air Force Base, and why we're required to do what we do with spills.
In the event of a spill.
In the event of a spill.
Right. And what, I'm not very smart. I don't know a lot about the base. What sort of liquids are we talking about?
Well, here at Mountain Home Air Force Base, we have a lot of industrial liquids, but our main focus is going to be petroleum-based products. Engine oil, hydraulic fluids, used oil, JP8, gasoline, diesel, those
All right.
types of oils.
So can you take me around this facility and show me where some of those spilled materials go
Yes,
once they're
definitely.
cleaned up? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
let's
Let's
go.
do that. All right. So tell me, first of all, Danny, is this a good place for me to have a nice, delicious cigarette?
No,
No.
you don't. You want to stay at least 50 feet away.
Okay. So if I go 51 feet from here, I could have a nice, delicious cigarette?
Oh yes, then you're covered.
Awesome, awesome. Tell me, what is in this big tank? I mean, the first thing, we've got a lot of little tanks. We've got some barrels hanging around. But what about, am I allowed to knock on that? Should I
Yeah,
have
you'll
done
be
that?
fine.
What do we got here?
Used oil. So this is our bulk container. So all the oil that's not usable anymore on the installation just gets pumped into one of our tanks.
Awesome. And so that's, all the oil in here has been spilled. Is that true?
Well, some of the oil that's spilled and no longer usable, it does get put in here, but
Okay.
we also get all other oils that are not usable that go in here. So not everything is from spillage.
Oh, okay. So good. I was
Yeah.
hoping that not this much
Yeah,
is
no.
being spilled on a regular base here at Mountain Home Air Force Base. How do people know what liquids we're talking about? You know, if you spill, some water, obviously we don't need to report on that. How do people know what liquids we're talking about and what report to fill out and the whole procedure?
Well, every year we hold training for all personnel on base, and we basically go over that, their responsibilities, the requirements that go along with that, and we also give them ideas of what we're talking about, what type of oils we're
Okay.
actually
And
want them
you
to wear.
are our resident expert. That is your job. That is
Yes.
your position in life here at Mountain Home Air Force Base, is to be the trainer. You do
Yes.
that training annually, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, what specific liquids are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about oils, fats, greases from animal and fish or marine animals, vegetable oils, nut oils, and then also petroleum-based oils like synthetic oils, mineral oils, fuels, hydraulic fluids, lubricants, so those type of materials. We provide a list.
That's a very long list. It's a long list for somebody like me to memorize, but a couple of things jump out at me. I'm expecting the lubricants, the gasolines, the things from trucks and airplanes. What about nut oils? That's sort of out of left field for me. Where am I going to run into a lot of nut oils on the base?
Well, we have several dining facilities and restaurants here on base, so they would be using those type of oils.
Okay,
So.
because I was concerned. I thought people were just running around town here with nut oils in the back of their pickups, and that seems very odd to me. Where else can I find this information? So obviously, just from one training session, not everybody's going to memorize everything. Is there somewhere else I can go to get the information?
Yeah, the environmental office has a SharePoint site, and all this information and the federal requirements and base responsibilities and our wing plans are found on that site. So you can easily just go there and you can just pull any information you need. We also have our spill report there.
Okay, so Danny, let's just say I spill just, maybe half a quart of oil. Do I really have to report that? It just seems like a lot to do.
You do. Federal regulations such as the Clean Water Act requires us to respond to spills properly and report them. Also, we have a WING plan 3202, which is the integrated contingencies plan that also requires us to report and properly respond to all spills on base.
And it's also a part of the rules here on the base.
Yes, the wing commander signed that plan, so it's base policy.
Oh, so the wing commander says this is the way it's going to be, so
This is the way you got to be. And
Exactly.
also, it helps us, protect our environment and from potential fines. We could be fined several thousands of dollars.
and so if we have to pay thousands of dollars in fines, that's less flight time.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And an Air Force base without flight time is like a Boy Scout camp or a Girl Scout camp, like an Army base. Really, is what it is, isn't it?
Yes, you could say that.
That would be horrible. So do your job. It's really what this boils down to.
It is.
Do your part. Do the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah, make it happen, Cap. Right. Okay, so how can people do their part?
Well, as you said, it's everybody's responsibility to
Oh, yeah.
report spills and prevent them. And how you can do that is making sure that you're conducting your monthly inspections. You're keeping up with your equipment maintenance to avoid any leaks. Knowing your facility layout, where your alarms, shutoffs, spill kits are, ensuring your facility has a spill kit that's adequately stocked, and just following proper oil handling procedures.
Okay. So preparation seems
Yes.
to be the key element in all this, right?
Yes.
Know your stuff. Stock your stuff. Know how to use the stuff you stocked.
And use this stuff. Yeah.
Right. So Danny, call me crazy. I'm not the expert here, but it seems to me that the best thing to do would be just avoid having a spill in the first place.
Correct. And here at Mountain Home Air Force Base, we practice a series of spill prevention methods in order to, as you said, prevent a spill in the first place.
What sort of prevention methods do you practice on a regular basis?
Well, we ensure we do timely maintenance on malfunctioning equipment. We conduct monthly inspections. We have alarms in our equipment
Okay.
to prevent a spill.
So the alarms would go off before there's an actual spill?
Yes. Our tank staff what we call a high-level alarm, so it avoids you overfilling a tank, which leads into a discharge.
Prevention. Sounds like a good idea to me. Avoid it altogether. Avoid the paperwork.
Yeah.
Sort of like washing your hands if you work at a restaurant after you go to the bathroom. Same thing. Really? Different, but the same. Now, obviously, one of the reasons that we're so concerned about spills is because of the impact it has on our environment.
Correct.
So, what are the different ways in which a spill can find its way into our environment?
Well, some potential spill pathways could be through floor or storm drains, any conduit that would lead to a sewer system, sinks, custodial sinks, or just direct spillage onto the soil.
Onto the soil, seeps in, it's in the water, goes everywhere. There you go. Don't do that. A few things Danny says to keep in mind and be aware of. Containment oil handlers must ensure that all spill containment structures are in place and operational. Alarms monitor activity of leak detection overfill protection systems and respond immediately to alarms. Inspections. Conduct required inspections, document inspections, and report all discrepancies and leaks. Storage container inspections. Now, all storage containers 55 gallons or greater, i.e. tanks, drums, etc., need to be inspected monthly to ensure that they are not leaking. Now, you can find copies of the inspection checklist in Wing Plan 3202 Annex N. Inspection records must be retained for a period of 3 years. Secondary containment for above-ground containers should be intact with no cracks or holes. If the secondary containment is fitted with a valve, make sure that the valve is closed and locked. Okay, so, Danny, let's just say that I've accidentally had a spill. What do I do?
What do you think you should do?
Panic. Freak out. Or no, you know what, pull a rug over it, or maybe kick some dirt on it, you know? Sort of like it never happened. sort of thing? Or no? I could sop it up with some old rags, maybe some old newspaper, put that in a garbage can, cover that with something else, just sort of walk away, you know, whistle so that nobody thinks, you know, anything's going on.
You haven't heard a single word I've said, have you?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I'm listening, but I don't retain information when people say it out loud. Now, actually, if a spill does occur, the person discovering the spill must make every effort, if possible, to take the following actions. 1. Stop the product flow. Stop transfers, secure pumps, close valves, use materials in your spill kit to block flow. 2. Warn personnel, sound alarms, and force safety and security measures. 3. Shut off ignition sources, if possible, and limit access to the affected area. 4. Make notifications, call the fire department, supervisor, or environmental. 5. Begin cleanup if within your capabilities. Facilities that handle oil are required to have spill kits in the near vicinity for spill response. Remember, safety first. Do not attempt to perform any life or health-threatening acts. If the spill is considered an emergency and there is potential life, health, fire, or other safety hazard, the fire department will be notified immediately. Mountain Home Air Force Fire Department, they can be reached at 911 from a landline or 208-828-1117. And all spills, regardless of substance or quantity spilled, must be reported to environmental by close of business that duty day or by 0800 the next duty day. A hazardous materials release report, spill report, must be completed for each spill and faxed to 208-828-2194, emailed, or hand-delivered to environmental in Building 1297. Certain releases must be reported to outside agencies. Environmental will determine if a release is reportable and will be responsible for reporting that spill to the appropriate agencies. Spill response containment and follow-up. If cleanup is within the spiller's capabilities, the spiller is responsible for the following actions. 1. Contain the material released into the environment. 2. Recover and clean up the material used with appropriate spill cleanup supplies, i.e. absorbent pads. Now note, all hazardous materials, storage locations, waste accumulation points, and oil storage locations are required to have spill kits that can be easily accessible during the event of a spill. 3. Arrange for proper disposal of waste materials. Contact environmental or the central collection facility for guidance on how to properly dispose of waste materials. 4. Submit a spill report to environmental. If the spill cleanup is beyond the spiller's capabilities, there are resources on base that can be called to support with cleanup. If you have any questions, you can contact environmental at
828-6351.
or you can contact your Tanks POL program manager at
828-1761.
All right. Danny, thank you very much.
It's great talking to you.
Great talking to you. I appreciate the tour. You guys, keep your lids on. Thanks for joining us. The lids thing was so don't spill anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think about that.
Yeah, it's not a hat reference.
No, not at all.
You know, you might think it is. Where are you from, California?
Yes.
Mountain Home's pretty this time of year. Windy, breezy,
A
cold,
little bit of rain.
rainy.